Hello, YouTube. My name's GR Dragon, or it was GR Dragon anyway. I had quit YouTube probably 7 years ago. I had about 15 subscribers. So this video is being made more for me. I just recently actually watched a YouTube video that I had done of an old apartment that I had in 2013, back when I was 22 years old. So, and I thought it was really cool and to kind of have a window back into my life. So for this video, I'm doing something similar as I've gotten a new apartment. I've moved numerous times from them. I'm about 29 years old, so approaching 30. So I just want to, have that contrast to how my life has changed and how much it hasn't. So without further ado, here is Dragon's apartment tour 7 years later, and here we go. So I'm gonna turn the lights on here. I moved into this one-bedroom apartment here in Muncie about 2 weeks ago. I was living in a town called Lock Haven, so it's a little messy right now. I had just been getting rid of stuff, unpacking, just trying to get myself situated. So, again, forgive the mess, but here's my kitchen. It's actually a fairly nice kitchen minus the old stove. Other than that, I actually really like this kitchen. These lights can be dimmed and brightened. Dimmed and brightened. So that's pretty cool. Ton of cabinet space. Yeah, wow, for once you have food in your cabinet. Look at you. I'm an adult now, guys. Yeah, just miscellaneous crap. I had started this channel as a video game collector, and then I recently kind of got out of collecting. So these are just miscellaneous PS2 random stuff that are left over. Here is some photos of me and my best friends when we went to Boston. I actually finally went to PAX. It's an outstanding photo, me and Seth, or known as Circle Over Square Gaming, if he still does YouTube. Stuff in the freezer. I had actually been doing keto the last couple months. Took a break from keto as I'm moving because moving makes you broke. So when you buy stuff cheaply, you can't really do keto. So here's my fridge. I recently just got addicted to these sparkling ices when I was on keto, and I love them. I also taught myself how to actually use fucking coupons. So when I go to my grocery store, I was able to get a bunch of Coke Zero for about $10. We have the messy bathroom. Towel on the floor because my shower curtain is super long, and sometimes when I forget to put it on, it drips. So I used a towel to clean the floor. We have an apartment with a washer and dryer. Bathroom where I poop. Okay, we're heading back in. It's kind of an open floor plan. I moved out of a 3-bedroom house, but I feel like I have more room here, which makes no sense. But I was living in a little tiny attic room. I wish I would have taken a video of it, but I didn't think to. I wasn't just kind of feeling nostalgic perusing my own YouTube channel to get inspired to do this. But again, I thought it'd be cool to do. So moving right along to what I would consider the good stuff. Oh, sorry. So my game collection has both shrunk but grown. So there's obviously new consoles that have come out. So right here I have my Death Stranding PlayStation 4 Pro. I had the Batman PS4. Ironically, I had gotten rid of my Xbox and everything back in 2013, whenever I made my original apartment tour, and in order to get the PlayStation 4 and the original black one. Funny story about that apartment is maybe 6 months later, that apartment got broken into in 2014, and that PlayStation 4 was stolen. I had replaced it with the silver Batman PS4. Basically had that PlayStation 4 up until the Death Stranding PS4 Pro came out. So, that's my PS4 Pro. Nintendo Switch, they've had this since launch. Grab the I'm colorblind, so I'm not sure what color that is, but it was, I think, midnight blue or some sort of blue. But it appears blue to me. But I can't tell shade. So since in that time I've gotten rid of my original Super Nintendo because the Mini came out, and the fun thing about the Minis is you can mod them. So I have every RPG every 16-bit RPG I could ever want on that. I'm talking about ROM hacks, the original stuff. All my Shin Megami Tensei games are on here, so there was no reason for me to own a original Super Nintendo, and I don't have the room for one, so I had to downsize some consoles. So the original Super Nintendo was on the chopping block. Same thing with my Sega Genesis here. This is modded to have all the Genesis games I could possibly want. It came really with generally everything I wanted, but I only added a few, must-have like Turtle or the Hyperstone Heist and Kadash, and so just some other games I felt that were necessary. Just random Pro Switch or Switch controller. My Sega Saturn Retrobit Sega Saturn pad, which I think are wonderful. I'm going to buy more of these because the two consoles that I really have and still play from, my original, I guess, GR Dragon videos are my Sega Dreamcast. That's still the same Dreamcast I had bought all those years ago from, my original collecting videos. This Saturn, which I don't think I ever did a video of, I don't remember doing a video of it, but maybe I did, maybe I didn't. This Saturn's actually modded to play backups, action replay cart here, so I can play imports. I think this system's really cool. My actual New Year's resolution was to explore this library a little more, so that's why I have it hooked up. I'm not really one of these collectors who can afford a FrameMeister, or even if I could, I don't really want to because they're pricey. So I have a composite to HDMI, and does it look the best? No, but is it functional? Yes. So it's functional for what I want to use it for. I don't really have room for a CRT, so you got to do what you got to go what works. Obviously, I have my Xbox One down there, Xbox One X, excuse me. Great system. I've only really beaten 2 games. I think I got to beat Gears, the Ultimate Edition, and then recently played Jedi Fallen Order on that. I really like my One X, but I'm excuse me, I'm really gonna start getting into it because Phantasy Star Online 2 is coming out. So the closed beta is actually this weekend. This is in February, so whenever I upload this, I'll have either started or about to start the online beta for Phantasy Star Online 2. I'm actually really, really excited about that. Because back to my PS4 real quick. I had recently just discovered MMOs, and my buddy or my roommate I was living with at the time kind of told me to get into Final Fantasy 14, and I finally did, and I beat the first part of the Realm Reborn campaign. Now I'm doing the patch stuff. Then I got to get into I believe Heaven's Ward, so got a ton of stuff to do on there. But that all pauses for Phantasy Star Online 2 because I'm obviously a huge Sega fan, so. Whenever a big Sega franchise comes out, you know where I'm at. So, again, that's my Dreamcast down there. I was testing testing out Sonic Adventure because, again, I haven't played that Dreamcast probably since 2014. So I wanted to make sure that it worked, and I want to get into more of my Sega library this year. So I want to play that more. Obviously, I have the Saturn there, so and it can play burned games because. Fun fact, granted, Saturn collecting was always expensive, but is extremely expensive now. So unless you have the RIA or pseudo, I forget what it's called, you're going to be paying top dollar for Saturn games. So I'm not paying top dollar. My ass is broke. So I'm going to pay as cheap as possible to play Sega Saturn. So moving right along. Obviously, I have boxes up here. And random knickknacks. I've since been in 2 weddings. I was a groomsman in 2 of my friends' weddings. These are flasks. There's a flask back there. We'll move those. Look, that has booze in it. So, obviously, I made this before the PlayStation... Oh, something just fell. Before the PlayStation 4 came out. So, this is the result of my PlayStation 4 love. So, I'm just going to kind of go through that. That's a really good game. Yeah, probably replace the PlayStation 2 as my favorite system, or one of my favorites, because like this system has everything, Oh yeah, dude, Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. If I would have told 22-year-old me that was gonna happen, he would have laughed. But there it is, Kingdom Hearts 3 happened. Where's another standout here? Where are you? Nope. Yes, this I must. Say, so again, talking to 22-year-old me, Remember that Versus 13 pre-order you had? It turned into this, bud. So now live in a world where Versus 13 came out, Duke Nukem Forever had to come out, and then Kingdom Hearts 3. And here's the kicker. In April, Final Fantasy VII Remake is happening. So what a crazy world that 2020 has brought you to. But again, going through these, see what other stands out. There's a really funny story on a podcast that I'm in about a time a 13-year-old kid almost beat the fuck out of me playing King of Fighters in the arcade in Hanover. One of my favorite games, Ys. I've recently discovered the Yakuza series. Well, by recently, 2 years ago, but Yakuza games are my favorite game, which again, in 2012 or 2013, whenever I recorded that, would have been yeah, whatever, nerd. Yeah, so this is as one of the best libraries of games. This is a bit of a mess here, but I had gotten a Sega CD. I got back into 3DS collecting. What else? Remember that X-Men versus Street Fighter for the Saturn you said you were going to get? You finally got it, buddy. You made it happen. And it's one of your best Saturn games. You also thought you were going to teach yourself Japanese, so you bought Lunar Eternal Blue, and yeah, that hasn't happened. Let's see. Yeah, basically my 3DS collection, randomly somebody gifted me a Game Gear, and yeah. That there's a funny video I did where there's music in the background playing. It's actually from this game. This is Digital Devil Story for the Famicom. So there's music from the Overworld on there that I thought it was slick and nobody would know because it was a Famicom game. But a little GR Dragon behind the scenes for you. Dude, here's another thing. Metroid Samus Returns. They made a remake of Metroid 2 for the 3DS. Imagine that. Let's see. Still have that copy of Melee that you got for free. It's still here. You haven't sold it somehow. Good job. Let's see what else. Saturn thing or Virtual Cop. You found out this game actually kind of without the gun kind of sucks. Let's see. So again, with that modded Saturn, you finally got that copy of Panzer Dragoon Saga. Here it is, buddy. Again, I'm just talking to my 22-year-old self, so it's kind of funny. Here's some more Wii games. Sonic Mania. Let's see what we have down here. Xbox One. Just random stuff. Here's something cool. Where is it? No. Yeah, they released Secret of Mana on a collection, so you have all the Secret of Mana games that you said you were gonna get. You have them now. What else? Persona. But again, I don't know. This is a really nice place, and I just wanted to take a note as to what my stuff was. Look at that. Look at all that nerdy goodness. Keyboard. That fireplace actually works. I don't use it. Wii and other miscellaneous stuff in there. PlayStation, Sega stuff. So, moving right along, that's your work backpack, or my work backpack, excuse me, because in this video that I did 7 years ago, I had just started my career in juvenile justice. I was working private sector, and so I was doing a job what was called a YSS1. That was a youth service specialist one, basically a line staff working in the juvenile justice field. This is my bedroom. Very bare bones right now. But again, just getting back to work. So now, 7 years later, I am a youth development counselor working for the state in which I live in. So again, I'm still in the field. I in that video, I had just embarked on my career, and I was working. Like I said, I was working a lot of doubles. Doing a lot of long shifts. You now have a Jordan addiction, so have fun with that. But yeah, I was working a lot of doubles. Just basically being a young guy. I was, again, 22. Granted, I'm still young now. I'm 29. But, yeah, look at that. More random stuff laying around. The apartment's not completely done, but, I'm more or less moved in. But again, so getting back to work, yeah, now 7 years later, I still work long hours, but, it's my career versus a job. I just was going to start as a stepping stone where I was going to eventually become I wanted to work for the Federal Bureau of Prisons and be a correctional officer and kind of stepstone my career that way. But ended up falling in love with it. Also, 2 knee surgeries later, kind of you tend to want to do things a little different, maybe a little less impact on your legs. So, yeah, so this is my apartment tour. Again, I just kind of wanted to. That's apartment tour slash life update. Just kind of update and chronicle for me more than anything. How you're living or how I'm living, and what life has or where life has taken me. So, thank you for those who do watch. Obviously, I don't expect anyone to. This is more for me, but I hope everyone's had a good Christmas and New Year's, and we survived January. We live in a world now that the Chiefs have won a Super Bowl, the Cubs won a World Series. What a difference 7 years makes. And I hope everyone has a good night.